Set up.
This
Yeah.
is
Yeah. Well,
looking
yeah, that's
good.
it.
You can't
We
miss
are
it.
on
Oh,
YouTube.
we're live.
So do you know what today is? Today is Tuesday. It is the 19th of November. It is 3:30 in the afternoon, which means that it is time for One in the World with Paul Seaburn, that guy at the bottom of the screen in the red shirt, and his sidekick, John Donalo, who is wearing his Cavs hat today. Welcome, everybody. We're here.
Hey, everybody. How you doing? What a great intro. Thank you so much, Karen. Yeah, you're right. We are here on a Tuesday, the 19th, and it is What in the World, everybody's favorite weird news show, weird news podcast. I'm your host, Paul Seaburn. Welcome to our show. If you came to us from Facebook or you came to us from mysteriousuniverse.org, where I'm the editor and head writer, we get a lot of people from there. Thank you for joining us on What in the World. We're here every week at 3:30 if you're listening to us live Eastern Standard Time, or we're on all your favorite platforms, Spotify and YouTube and all those. Just go to newclevelandradio.net, which is our platform. Look for my name. You'll find all the links to download our podcast for free. And then while you're there, take a look at some of the other podcasts on newclevelandradio.net. Our producer, Karen Hale, has a plethora of podcasts available. So check them all out. Also check out Yes I Can Coaching with Karen, which is Karen's coaching service, great service. All kinds of different coaching services that she provides. Check it, and also is our sponsor. So check all that out from Karen Hale, who is our producer, co-host, and media mogul at newclevelandradio.net. Also, in your ear, you probably heard another male voice there. That was none other than my old buddy John Dinalo, our color commentator, host of What in the World of Sports with John. My fraternity brother, a lot of you know him. We've got some regulars who we've known for years. I heard from one of them this week, and so did John, our buddy Dan down in South Carolina. He told us, he mentioned the story we did last week about the monkeys. He wanted to assure us that they're down to 6. There's only 6 left that have not been recaptured, and
Well,
they're treating them nicely. I guess they take them to McDonald's after they're captured, to kind
it's the long arm of the law, so to speak, right? Even if it involves monkeys.
How are
Very,
you, John?
I'm good, Paul, and Karen and audience. And I'm really, really pleased about the Cleveland Cavaliers. Speak about them for just a moment. They are 15-0. And I know they
Well,
played.
if you're listening to us live, that's right. They're 15-0.
Right, and they're playing the Boston Celtics tonight in a key game. But what a terrific start for this team with a new head coach and with basically the players from last year. So it's a great story, and let's kind of ride the wave as long as we can with them. So good luck to the Cavs.
Yeah, that's right.
Absolutely.
That's right. Yeah, it's a good day, good time to be a Cleveland Cavaliers fan. Um, I want to mention before I forget, I don't think we would have forgotten at the end, but this is the week before Thanksgiving, so hopefully everybody's got plans for Thanksgiving, as do all of us. So we will be off next week, and we will be returning in 2 weeks for our post Thanksgiving show, where we'll all be 10 pounds heavier and you
Speak
know.
for yourself.
Right,
Okay,
good
all right, move
democracy.
on. We better move
Good
on before I
democracy. Yes.
deep
Oh, yeah.
hole here. So, what are we going to talk about today on What in the World? Oh, I got some great stories as always. The world's worst yogurt. Oh boy, I just found this one today, and I posted it on Facebook. A little teaser on Facebook, and I already got some comments on it. So this will be a fun story here. Queen Elizabeth's wedding cake and England's worst beer idea. Two stories that don't sound like they're related. They actually are. So we'll be talking
Oh,
about that.
okay.
Karen, this is for you. There's a team, not just one, but a team of chupacabras in Texas, on the loose in Texas. Great story. Wait till you hear all about that one. Why you should be kind to a moose and spiders, but not too funny looking bears. They- three different stories that are all about
Wow.
animals, all related. So we'll find out about that. Clowns versus samurai in Japan. Well, where else would you have samurai but in Japan? But the clowns, wait till you hear about this particular clown that everybody knows about. Plus, we got some more odd news. We got trivia. We got world records. And then, of course, John's got a great weird sport for us this week. Uh, I can't even describe it. You just have to stick around and listen. And then once John's done, we play everybody's favorite weird news game, Bluff the co-host. So stick around for that as always. So let's get right to it with what did I say the first story was? Oh, so this dried yogurt thing. John, do you like yogurt?
I will eat it occasionally. My wife likes yogurt a lot, but occasionally I'll eat yogurt. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Karen, how about you? Are you a yogurt fan?
I like yogurt. I don't eat it a lot, but yeah.
I'm hooked on it. I love yogurt. In fact, I eat plain Greek yogurt. I used to eat the fruity
Oh.
stuff, but I've
No.
got to the point where I really like it. I throw all kind of raisins and nuts and
Oh,
stuff.
okay.
No, sure.
Yeah,
It jams
no,
it
I
up a
got
little bit. Right. Sure. Sure.
plain yogurt's like eating sour cream. It's not. But anyway,
That's exactly right.
not to get off on a tangent here. So this is for Gen Z. This is from Gen Z people, which I guess that they're out of their teens and into their 20s and 30s. I think that's where Gen Z is. So a new trend with Gen Z people is dried yogurt. I'd never heard of this. Dried yogurt. You make it yourself. What you do is you take 2 paper towels and a carton of yogurt. You dump the yogurt onto one paper towel, put the other paper towel on top, and then you get a book or a board or something heavy and you smash it down till it's flat. And then you put the whole thing in the refrigerator for 48 hours. And what you end up with is a clay-like disc. In fact, I think I have a photo of it here, which you then eat. So you get this disc of yogurt. John, didn't we see disc of? But I lost it. Disc of yogurt. I think we saw disc of yogurt play one time. I don't know who they opened for. So there's what you get. You get this round disc of yogurt, and by the way, the technical term for a disc of dried yogurt is a yo plate. So
Oh,
open with
okay.
open with the horn right
Okay,
there for you.
we got the word on that one. Good. Good.
Why would you do this? I mean,
I guess they don't like the liquid. I don't know. It's a Gen Z thing. I know if I saw that laying in my refrigerator, what I would do is I would wipe it up and put something else there.
yeah.
It
Yeah,
looks
really.
like yogurt spilled in your refrigerator. So it from what I understand, it tastes kind of clayish, chalky, yogurty. It looks like she used fruit yogurt there, 2 different flavors of fruit yogurt. So,
Yeah,
but
two distinct colors there, right? Wow.
Yeah.
yeah. So I don't know. I remember, and you probably remember this back when yogurt first started to become popular in the United States, and the only brand available was Dannon, and they marketed it originally like this European thing. Oh, if you want to be European, you eat this stuff that comes in a carton that comes from a cow, but it's not milk. It's not cheese. But it's European. So I felt like if I ate it, I had to smoke a cigarette while I'm eating yogurt.
There's a mystique to it of some kind, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And the only kind was Dana, and it came in those wax cardboard containers, and
I
that
recall
was
that.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had to look it up. I thought Dannon was the first yogurt company ever in the United States, but it wasn't. Yogurt first started being imported into the United States in like 1900, 1910, in that time frame. And it wasn't in a carton. Get a load of this. And this may explain this disc of yogurt. The original yogurt was brought to the United States as a tablet. You either got it as a tablet, I think that was it, and it was for people with digestive intolerance and for home culturing. So you could take the tablet and I guess put it in some milk or water or something and put it under a lamp and grow your own yogurt at home, something to that
Wow.
effect.
Interesting.
Yeah, I know. It doesn't sound good. Believe it or not, before Dannon, the person who helped make yogurt popular in the United States was John Henry Kellogg. That's right, from Kellogg's cereal in Battle Creek, Michigan. The Kellogg brothers started this sanitarium. That's what they called them back in the old days, for a place, like a health spa to go to, and they would help people get healthy again. So it was the Battle Creek Sanitarium. And get a load of this, a yogurt was originally both eaten and used as an enema.
Oh,
Oh,
oh
oh.
my gosh. Wow.
A yogurt enema, that's right. I think they had to use a special yogurt called Chobuddy. I had a much dirtier joke for that, but I'll stick with that.
Good one, Paul. Wow.
So it didn't catch on, obviously, because Kellogg's didn't go into the yogurt business. But these two Armenians, immigrants, Sarki and Rose Kolombosian, started the Colombo and Sons Creamery in Massachusetts, of all places. And that was the original yogurt before Dannon, was Colombo's yogurt, which I think is still available. And they found that it was too sour for Americans. So they were the first ones to add fruit to the yogurt, the fruit on the bottom, stir it up and all that stuff. So I thought that was interesting. Much more interesting than a disc of dried yogurt, let's put it, or a yogurt enema. I promise Karen and everybody out there, I will never mention yogurt enemas again on this
Thank you.
show.
We
Please
appreciate
do. Please make sure of that, Paul.
Nor will I show pictures of it either. Okay, so let's go to Australia. The show is called What in the World? So we go everywhere. So Australia. So scientists at the University of New South Wales have developed a method this is another dairy story, by the way, another method of accurately checking to see if milk has gone bad in your refrigerator. And the way they do this is they use the vibration motor inside your smartphone to detect bacteria, which is affected by the sound of the vibration as it passes through the milk. So you got that, the phone vibrates and somehow then it measures how it affects the bacteria in the milk. Now, I hear this, and all I can think of, I hear my father's voice in my head saying, just read the damn expiration date, for God's sake.
Yeah.
Or worse, you take it to your spouse and you say, does this smell funny?
Right.
Because
oh yeah,
that's how you find out whether milk is bad or not. I don't know.
sure.
Or if you're brave, I guess you could test it. But why do I have to spend $1,000 or more nowadays on a new iPhone just to get this vibration software running? And I don't buy it. So
I don't either.
what's going to happen. You know what's going to happen. Somebody's going to get this. Somebody's going to say, hey, you need this app. It'll tell you if your milk is sour or not. So they're going to download the app and they're going to pour themselves a glass of milk. And they're wondering, oh boy, I wonder if this milk is bad or not. So what are they going to do? They're going to take the phone and turn it on and they're going to dunk it into the milk because they think that's what
oh boy. Wow.
And you know what that means, you got to take your phone to the Apple store and explain the whole thing to them. Believe it or not, this is already happening. And the people at the Apple store have a name for this process. It's called your phone was Oreoed. So if you get in,
That's a good one. I like that. Yep.
you dunked your phone in milk. They say, oh, I'm sorry, it's dead. It was Oreoed. I don't know. I think cows are behind this. I think, we don't even use milk. How many people even drink milk now? It's they you go to the dairy counter, the dairy cooler at the store, and there's only one little section of milk, and then there's soy milk and oat milk and almond milk and I don't know, dirty socks milk. There's all kind of they make milk out of everything except what the cows squirt out of their udders.
Yeah. Oh
So
my.
I think cows are behind us. I think cows are trying to finally wean everybody off of milk, so people stop bothering them. They don't have to be milked every day and all that other stuff. I don't know, John. What do you think about that? Do you think there's anything to that idea?
I don't know, but you're right about the idea, Paul, of so many, or the fact about so many different types of milk. It's hard to
Yeah.
choose in some respects. Used to be back in the day, you had to figure out if you wanted whole milk, 2% or skim. Now you have all these other choices that are out
We
there.
didn't even have 2%. It was whole or skim. That was basically
Right.
it. And your
Back
mom,
in the day. Right.
the only reason you got skim is if your mom was on a diet. That was it.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. There was no yogurt. There was no cream. There was heavy cream. So
There was cultured buttermilk.
Oh, and
Oh.
buttermilk. Thank you, Karen. That's right. Which,
Okay.
if you open cultured buttermilk, smells like your milk is bad. So that's why we used to keep a carton of milk, buttermilk, so we could tell if the other milk was bad. If it smelled like buttermilk.
My parents loved it. I couldn't stand watching them drink it.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
my dad loved it too. My dad used to drink it with down south in Texas. When I lived down there, people drank it with cornbread. That was a combination of some kind of southern thing. You drank buttermilk and ate cornbread and said yeehaw or something. I don't know. Anyway, okay, let's move on to something a little more pleasant here. Okay,
Sure.
so a 77-year-old piece of cake was auctioned off for $2,831 in England. Why did they get almost $3,000 for this piece of cake? Because it was from the wedding cake from Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip's wedding. Now, back then she was still Princess Elizabeth. Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip. $2,831. It was from a 500-pound cake that had been the piece had been given to Marianne Polson, who was one of the housekeepers in the palace in Hollywood House, one of the various palaces. She was in Scotland as a gift to the couple. She probably didn't get invited to the wedding, but they gave her the cake as a consolation prize. So this guy buys it. This guy buys it at the auction, and following British tradition, he now has it on display at the Cock and Piece of Royal Wedding Cake pub, because that's what you do with stuff. You can't eat it. It's like almost 8 years old. Yeah, so you put it on display at the pub, and hopefully people come will see it. Forget the cake, though. What I don't care about the cake. I want a picture from the wedding of Princess Elizabeth feeding a piece of cake to Prince Philip. And then smashing it in his face.
Don't think you're ever going to see it.
Yeah. She'd have to be on a stool, because he was much taller than her. But I think that'd be the perfect picture. So, in fact, here's a picture of the cake by it. So,
oh my God! Wow.
She was a princess back then. So part of the vows, I didn't realize this. I was reading up on the wedding. Part of the vows at that time were that Prince Philip had to vow that he would taste test any apples given to the princess before she was allowed to eat them, because they still believed that there was, evil stepmothers or witches or somewhere trying to make her fall asleep, and then he'd have to kiss her. And again, you ate a poison apple again. So, sorry. Here's a picture of the original cake. So for those of you who can't see it, who are listening instead of watching on YouTube, for those of you listening, imagine a stack of Queen Elizabeth hats. That's pretty much what this cake looks like. It's just a giant hat after another giant hat, another giant hat. I think that's why she liked wearing those giant hats so much. It reminded her of her wedding day. Now, I mentioned a pub before, the Cock and piece of royal wedding cake pub. Why? I've been to England. Many of you have been to England. If when you go looking, they all have these weird pub names, but cock is a word that is used in a lot of royal pub names. And I wondered why that was. And I knew it, I was hoping it wasn't dirty so I could talk about it on the show. Although YouTube lets us do that stuff now. So the reason why there's so many pubs are cock and something or something and cock. In fact, I think I have a picture of one here. The Ye Old Cock Tavern. Here's one right here. The Old Cock Tavern. Why was it named after that? Well, obviously the rooster, but it's not just the rooster. It turns out in the 1600s, some housewives who brewed beer. That's where they brewed beer and ale was at home. One of them got the bright idea to cook a rooster and then dunk it in the beer and let it soak for hours.
Oh,
That
wow.
was the recipe. It was called, it came from a cookbook, The Accomplished Lady's Delight. So this was actually a recipe that all these women got out of this cookbook. You put the boiled cock in 8 gallons of ale, then along with some raisins, some dates, nutmeg, mace, and fortified wine. And then you mix it all together. Yeah, you mix it and then you let it stew for a few weeks until this is for you and for our buddy Dan down in South Carolina. I think that's the recipe for Wapatula, isn't it? Didn't they?
It could be, Paul. It could be.
For those of you who are never in a fraternity, or our fraternity for that matter, Wapatula was this severely alcoholic beverage that they gave us after we were initiated into the frat. Homemade somewhat. So this stuff with this cock ale with the raisins and the walnut, it actually sounds almost healthy. Not the rooster, but everything else actually sounds healthy. Believe it or not, that's the reason why they brewed it. It was and this is a quote from the cookbook, a warm and nourishing elixir that could alleviate tuberculosis.
Wow.
So, I guess if you're coughing up blood, you make some cock ale also it was a provocative drink. So I had to look up provocative drink. Provocative drink means it was an early form of Viagra. So you drank cock ale 2 or 3 hours before your date, and if your erection lasted 4 hours or more, you were supposed to call your doctor or call the lady who made.
That's what they say.
Yes.
Oh my.
That's why it became popular as a name for tavern, because they served this cock ale.
Wow.
So I was looking up some other pub names. So a lot of them named them after the type of ale and beer that they had. So don't go to this one, the Bucket of Blood Tavern.
Oh boy.
Don't go to that. Don't go to the Camel and Artichoke Tavern, and or the Dirty Habit. That was my favorite, the Dirty Habit, especially if it's next to a convent. You don't want to go to the Dirty Habit Tavern. Okay, so since we mentioned college, and John and I, as I always mention, are know each other since college. For college students who want to learn more about Beyonce, you know who Beyonce is? Some of our listeners are a little older. Beyonce is, the big singer nowadays. Sold more records than anybody else until Taylor Swift came along. So if you want to learn more about Beyonce, you attend Yale University, the Ivy League school, Yale University, where they are offering a course on Beyonce's influence on culture, music, and politics. Yale University. I'm sure that's $1,000 a credit hour to learn about Beyonce. Yeah. If you want to learn more about meatloaf, bread, cream, and black eyed peas, which are also musical groups, you don't go there. You go and you get a job in a Yale cafeteria and you learn about them.
That's a good one, Paul. That's a good one.
John, back in our day, if we wanted to learn more about music, we didn't take a class. We cut class and we stayed home and we listened to albums and got high for some of us. Um, so it's hard for me to believe that they're teaching classes, especially on Beyonce of all people. Beyonce, by the way, is married to Jay-Z. For those of you who are into the younger stuff, and Jay-Z, believe it or not, they have a class on his music too. It's called Lunch. So nowhere near as popular as his wife. Karen,
I took a class in college, and it was on soap operas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Soap operas, really?
Soap operas, yep.
Now that's an interesting. I'm gonna guess you didn't major in like theater or
I was in communications.
Okay, so wow, that's interesting. I that would interest me as a writer. I wish they would have taught classes like that when we were in school, but no, we took math and English and John, what you took?
I took history, economics, political science.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are my classes.
Good stuff. Yeah, put hair on your chest, as my father used to say. You learn math. That's what you got to go to college for. Okay, so we move on to another female story here. So a very pregnant passenger was traveling through Miami International Airport recently. That's in Florida, by the way. And believe it or not, very pregnant. She didn't make it to wherever it was she was going because she gave birth in the departures area of the American Airlines terminal. Now, you can see from the photo, she had help from airline officials, some airline security people and airport workers and emergency workers. So she had a boy. Mother and son are doing fine. They're still in Florida, yeah, but the placenta got sent by mistake to Newark.
Oh boy.
So yeah, she's healthy. Baby's healthy. Everybody was fine. A person who helped her, helped give birth, said the hardest part was getting her through the baggage X-ray machine so they could see how she was doing. I put this on Facebook, and one of my friends said she was in the wrong place. She should have been in the arrival section, not the departure section.
You're right.
Of course, that she was leaving. Most upset person at the airport after this happened was the passenger who was going to be sitting next to her, who found out that there would now be a crying baby sitting next to him through the entire flight.
Oh, right, yeah.
Expecting that, yeah. Poor kid was so confused. He heard one person yelling push, but then he heard a voice over the loudspeaker say that he needed to go to a different gate first. So
oh yeah, right. Oh my.
It confused me. So I can just imagine this poor lady. I don't think she made it to the plane, but if she had made it to the plane and was on there with this newborn baby, I can just imagine when they're pushing the cart around and the guy sitting next to her looks up at the flight attendant and looks at the woman with the baby and says, "I'll have what he's having."
Oh my. Oh.
John, have you sat next to a crying baby in a while?
Not in a while, but I have in the past, and that is something of experience that you have when you're on an airplane, for sure.
It's tough, especially when the airplane is full. There's no place you can go. So
right. Oh yeah,
everybody's got to travel. Everybody's got their rights.
For sure.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's move on to something a little different here. So we're going to Japan. Japan next. A fast food expert in Japan says that the best McDonald's burger in the world is something called the Samurai Mac, which is only sold in Japan, which is made from, now it differs from this picture slightly, but it has 3, not 2, but 3 thick soy sauce beef patties, triple cheddar cheese, crispy onions, and all on a poppy seed bun. Now, they call it the Samurai Mac. For your safety, whatever you do after you order it, don't ask the person behind the counter to cut it in half, because it's a samurai mac. So they'll bring that sword out, and you don't want to see that. You don't want to get too close to it. Even better than the samurai mac, but this is Japan. The McDonald's in Japan, the ice cream machine is made by Honda, so it never breaks down. So
Oh,
Good one, Paul. Good one there.
would you eat one of these, John? A samurai mac triple burger with soy sauce mixed in, and
But I have to know, what is it, like beef, or is it another type of
oh, good
protein source?
question. Good question.
That's what I'm wondering. I mean, the
That's
soy
a
sauce is okay. I like soy sauce, and it looks like there's cheese, and looks like there may be onion on there or whatever. But I wonder what the content of that actual patty is.
Well, it's so good, according to this article, they said that people are actually taking vacations to Tokyo just to eat one of these samurai macs,
Wow.
which, I mean, that's a long way to go to eat a
Yeah, no,
hamburger, especially at McDonald's. I personally myself, I wouldn't, it doesn't appeal to me that much. To me, it's just another hamburger. But I would go there to watch the people eating hamburgers, because this is Japan, so they must be eating them with chopsticks. I would pay.
Oh
To
no. Wonder how that
Yeah.
works. Yeah.
Can you imagine eating a hamburger with a chopstick?
It'd take
If
me a
you
long time. Not to be funny, it would take me a long time to do that.
No, it wouldn't, John. I found the chopsticks that they use to eat hamburgers. Here they are right here. So,
The sliders. That's a Big
Matter of
Mac
fact,
slider right there you have. Right.
that
Wow.
picture is from McDonald's. I didn't realize that at the picture of a Big Mac with chopsticks the size of not quite telephone poles, but broomsticks, I would say, in order to be able to pick up the Big Mac
Right.
whole. Yeah.
Oh my.
So if you got the right size chopsticks, you can eat anything. Personally, what I do is I always, if I go to a restaurant where I know I'm going to have to use chopsticks, I bring a pencil sharpener, and when nobody's looking.
Hey, that's cheating, Paul. That's cheating.
No, it's not, John. I'm still using the chopsticks.
Yeah,
So
but you're kind of violating the spirit, I think.
oh, no, that's different. I always check to see if there's anybody with a samurai sword there. I try not to do it in front of them. Okay.
All right.
So, all right. So now, regular listeners to our show know that my favorite monster is the Loch Ness Monster, and John's favorite monster is Bigfoot. We generally, we generally have a story once a week about at least one of them, but we don't often have a story about Karen's favorite monster. In fact, I bet you a lot of you who have joined our show recently don't even know what Karen's favorite monster is. Karen, what's your favorite monster?
the Chupacabra.
Chupacabra, of course. So I was, believe it or not, there was a story recently about the everybody's favorite goat sucker, Karen's favorite goat sucker, which normally is in Puerto Rico. That's where they originated, or they're in South America or Central America. But this is, and then there's a few in Texas. This one is from Texas, but Karen, it's like no chupacabra you've ever seen in your life, and because it's sports related. And because it's sports related, that means I turn this spot over to our sports guy, John Donalo. John, tell us about the Texas Chupacabras.
I will, Paul. Thanks for the intro on this. So you're right. The story comes from a city called McKinney, Texas, which is just north of Dallas, where people have reporting seeing at least, get ready for this, 24 chupacabras. Now, that's because the new local soccer team has decided its name will be the McKinney Chupacabras Football Club for the upcoming season.
There you go. McKinney Chupacabras football. That's a, not with two O's, but with a U and one of those squiggly signs over the top. So they look European.
Yes.
I guess I guess, John, they have enough teams in Texas named after cowboys and horses and cattle. So you need a new name already.
Uh, that's exactly right,
John,
Paul.
John, I think though you need, since we're talking about this story, it's too bad you don't have a Texas a Chupacabra hat and maybe a Chupacabra T-shirt for Karen.
Well, but here it is, Paul. The McKinney Chupacabras, it turns out, are way ahead of you on that one. So,
Really?
yes, they already have a scary logo with a snarling Chupacabra face for merchandise, and they even have a second one to salute a local landmark, which is the water tower in McKinney. Now, that logo has a Chupacabra claw mark across the tower, as you can see if you're watching here on YouTube.
Boy, a claw mark on a water tower, that would be an awfully big Chupacabra.
Yeah,
Of course,
Yes, it
you know,
was.
everything is bigger in Texas, so
right.
That's
what they tell me. Yep.
Well, you're right, Paul. And they've got caps, a nice scarf for the ladies, uh, beer koozies to hold your can of Lone Star beer as you're in Texas. And if you buy a season ticket, get ready for this. You get a free McKinney Chupacabras jersey.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah. All they need now, John, is a winning team. So since it's a soccer club, I think the Browns have a kicker that they might be able to get real cheap.
I thought you said a winning team, Paul. Wait a second. We'll look forward to keeping tabs on the McKinney Chupacabra soccer team next season. So stay.
Wow.
I liked it, but it's a very scary picture. And very accurate according to the pictures that I've seen of the drawings of what people eyewitnesses have shown with the horns in the middle of the head. That's a nice touch there, and the
So is
fangs.
this an indoor soccer team or outdoor soccer team?
I don't know, Karen. I don't know. I didn't see what where they play. Would it make any difference to you? Yeah, I'll send you the link.
Because when I go to visit Texas, if it's an indoor, it'd be wintertime. If it's an outdoor, it'd be summertime.
That's true. That's true. I think they start up in February, so it might be it might be outdoor.
Well, I'll have to go to it when I go to
yeah.
my son.
Oh boy, a field trip. That's right. You can write it off.
Can I offer a quick aside on this or a quick point? I think looking at the logo on that beer cookie or beer cooler or whatever. I mean, I think people that don't know what a Chupacabra is would be motivated to kind of find out about it and be educated. And I think it's catchy. I think it's a real catchy thing.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, the Texas Chupacabra that we've seen, we've had pictures of Texas Chupacabra. They don't look anything like that scary thing. They look like little
nothing like a little embellishment, to try to sell the merchandise. That's all.
That's right.
This is the real Chupacabra here. So if you're down in Texas, check it out. The McKinney Chupacabra is just north of Dallas. It sounds like fun. Sounds like they're not major league. They're one league below major league, whatever that is. So I don't know what that is. Okay. So and thank you, John, by the way, don't forget, John's got another story coming up at the end of the show. That wasn't his regular sport. So when humans are finally wiped out, or when we wipe ourselves out, I want everybody out there to think, what creature do you think will be the new be the ruling creature on planet Earth once there's no more humans? John, what do you think?
Well, that's a good question, Paul. What about the tiger? What about the tiger? I'm going to say the tiger.
Oh, wow, yeah. They're very apex predator.
Oh yeah, I mean that's why I'm thinking. Lion maybe, but I'm going to go tiger.
Tiger, okay. Then they don't have their natural enemy would be humans, and they're gone. Well, that's a good one. Karen, do you have an idea there?
It's going to be a fuzzy orange blob.
Oh my.
Okay.
Well,
Karen,
let's
you've
tally
been
that
gummies today. What's the okay. Well,
up.
I was thinking, what are there a lot of? And there's a lot of cats and dogs. Cats, I don't think would care one way or the other if we were gone or not. Um, Dogs, I think, would be depressed. Most people, when I ask the question, say roaches, because roaches could have survived if it was a nuclear attack that wiped everybody out. Roaches could
They're
survive,
always
right?
around, the roaches. They're always around, right?
Or rats, if between
Yeah.
roaches and rats, there's more of those two than I would think any other kind of creature. Believe it or not, they did a study on this at the University of Oxford in England. The creature that will rule the earth when humans are gone is not the roach or the rat or the tiger or whatever Karen is describing there. It's the octopus. That's who they're predicting
Wow.
will rule the
Really?
earth. Yes, the octopus, because they're, and I quote, their dexterity, curiosity, ability to communicate with each other, and supreme intelligence means that they could create complex tools to build a new civilization underwater. So that's what they're predicting is,
Wow, that's an interesting concept, Paul and Karen. Wow.
I buy it. In contrast to, us humans, we can't even decide what more than one octopus is called. Is it
Octopi.
I what is it? We can so I It doesn't surprise me at all that it would be the octopus. Monkeys, I would have thought monkeys. I'm thinking, monkeys hear this story and they're going to start brewing beer and getting drunk so they can say, "Hey, hold my beer and watch this," while they take over the planet.
Oh
But
my.
octopus, I think octopus is a good choice. What would they do first? I think first of all, they would free all the lobsters and all the tropical fish. They're
Oh, they
now
could
that
do that probably. Yeah, I would guess that's plausible. That's a plausible
yeah,
thing.
yeah. Then
Yeah,
they would ban all suction cups because they want to be the
right.
only
There you go.
on Earth with suction cups. They don't want anybody to be
Sure.
figuring out that they could climb whatever they use their suction cups for. Be like Animal Farm, like the book Animal Farm, where the pigs, the barn animals took over, and they had a rule. They said, uh, four legs good, two legs bad. So
Ay, ay, ay.
this would
Uh,
be eight legs good, everything else bad, and especially no more suction cups. They would have to come up with rules
oh, well,
anyway. All right,
sure.
another story here. KFC is suing their rival chicken brand, Church's Texas Chicken, for violating their trademark because they use the phrase original recipe in its advertising. And
Oh,
KFC using that for decades to describe its secret
sure,
recipe of herbs
sure.
and spices. Yeah. Reminds me of when Playboy, I don't know if you remember this, John, Playboy also sued KFC for violating its trademark by using the words legs, breast, and thighs. So,
That goes back, Paul, a long way.
oh, wait, that's right. So, if KFC wins this lawsuit, looks for churches to be sued next by the Vatican for using the name church.
Oh,
Um, it
turnabout
says
is fair play, right? Yeah, sure,
Yeah,
sure.
it says something about the world we live in that in the lawsuit they referred to fried chicken as intellectual property. Uh, really,
Oh my
intellectual
God.
property.
Wow. Wow.
Karen, I know you've been to Texas a number of times. When I lived in Texas, that's what we used to eat. We like churches more than KFC. It's really good fried chicken. Um, the place is packed on Sundays. Go figure.
Yeah.
Um, they
Oh,
have
After a church service, probably, right? Yeah.
John, they have regular, they have extra crispy, and they also have newly baptized. Uh,
oh.
and if you're in there and it's crowded and they ask you if you want gravy, everybody yells out, "Amen." So the
Oh, that's rich. That's very rich, Paul. Very
if
good.
you ask if you ask for water, you always get bottled holy water. So
Wow.
um, all right, this is a story from Sweden. a moose of all things, wanders into a BMW repair shop in Gothenburg, Sweden, and proceeded to do $20,000 worth of damage
Oh
to the
no.
to the
Oh, boy.
BMWs in this, three BMWs in the shop, causing $20,000 worth of damage before running out the door. Now, I've never owned a BMW, but I have priced them, and $20,000 sounds like a lot, but that's just it ripped off the window, the side view
Right,
mirror,
right.
dented the fender, and that's $20,000 right there.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Yeah,
Well,
I put this story on Facebook, and a friend of mine said that he had the best line of all. He said, "This is not a BMW story. This is a sob story because it was."
oh, where's your horn at, Paul? Get it out there. There
That's
we go. All
my
right.
buddy Ray. That's a salute to you. What scared the moose the most was when he saw a cougar, um, like the car. They cut out the best part of the video. The best part of the video was when the moose was trying to hump an impala. Um,
Oh no.
uh,
It is a
I know.
family show, Paul. Come on. It's a family show. Come on.
Okay, so everybody said this was probably covered by insurance, which it probably was. So there was an insurance story to go along with animals. A man in California was arrested for insurance fraud after he submitted a claim that a bear had damaged his 2010 Rolls-Royce Ghost. Talk about an expensive car. A
Sure.
bear damaged his Rolls-Royce Ghost, and he even included a security camera video of the bear destroying the car.
Oh man.
The insurance company determined that it was not a bear. It was actually a man in a bear costume. And here's the bear costume that he used. What gave it away, yeah. What gave it away was when the guy told the company that the bear was looking through his Rolls Royce for some Grey Poupon. And that's why he, believe it or not, this is a true story. This was actually an organized crime ring of people using bear costumes to break into expensive cars and then submit it for insurance claims. Four guys. They claimed that a bear broke into a 2015 Mercedes AMG, another expensive car, and a 2022 Mercedes E350, smaller, still expensive.
Sure.
Additionally, yeah, the claims were filed on January 8th, on the same day in Lake Arrowhead, and came with security camera footage. If Smokey the Bear can afford those kinds of cars, he must have done good putting out forest fires.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, the insurance company noticed something strange in all the videos. In all the videos, the bear never stopped once to go in the woods and take a crap. I mean, that's what bears do,
Oh
right?
my.
So the cool thing about this, for those of you who aren't watching this or looking it up on YouTube, the claws that they used were not from the costume. They had the man in the bear outfit use meat shredders, which you use to shred pork or shred chicken when you're making barbecued shredded pork or shredded
Oh my.
chicken. Yeah, I mean, if they wanted shredded pork, I was trying to find a car that was named after a pig. I couldn't find any cars named after pigs to shred, but they could have shredded a Harley hog and it would have done the same thing.
Oh, where's the horn?
I know. Yeah, I'm sorry, John.
Thank you. Thank you, Paul. It's okay. Thanks, Paul.
Another animal story. A man in Lima, Peru was caught trying to smuggle hundreds of tarantulas out of the country by strapping them to his body. Airport officials got suspicious when a ticket agent reported a man whose shirt started moving when he was told that he'd be seated next to a woman who was traveling with her emotional support grasshopper. So,
Oh my.
he made it through the x-ray machine. The TSA agent stopped and said that looked kind of funny. And he said, it's just a bad rash.
Oh.
Can you imagine having hundreds of tarantulas on your body
Oh no.
underneath No, I think this is how the dance, the twist got started. Uh, yeah, somebody put, it couldn't have been 100. Maybe one spider fell down somebody's shirt and they started jumping all around and there was music.
Gyrating, as it were.
Yeah, next thing you know, there's a twist, John. So
I get it. All right.
now, okay, so this happened at Spirit Airline, which was bad for Spirit because they just filed for bankruptcy. They lost, like, I don't know how many billions of dollars since the past couple of years that they've been in business. So we need to take up a collection for Spirit Airlines with everybody out there, because without Spirit, we're not going to have any more jokes to tell about Spirit Airlines. Even worse, all the late night comedians will have no more Spirit jokes, and they rely, between the president and Spirit Airlines, 3/4 of the monologues are about those
I have
two.
to agree with you, Paul, on that for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the topic right there.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, one more. So this guy from China, this is from China. This guy, his name is Pei Heng. He's an origami artist. He spent an entire year doing what? He spent an entire year. Oh, there's a spider right there. He spent the entire year cutting a piece of typing paper, 8.5 by 11 paper, copy paper it would be, cutting a single sheet into a 354-foot long single strand of paper. So that's what he did. He went around and around and around and around for a year, very carefully cutting it and making sure that it didn't break, until he ended up with almost 355 feet of a single strand of paper.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Amazing. He's well known in his neighborhood. The people in the neighborhood know him as the guy who cuts his grass with scissors, because his fingers in shape. He called this project, it was an art project, he called it Between Chaos and Order, which I think would be more appropriate if he was cutting up an election ballot, because that would be
There you have that, Paul. That's a good one.
having gone through an election here. Reminds me of my favorite song. This whole thing reminds me of my favorite song by the band Styx, and that song is "Too Much Time on My Hands."
Yeah.
I remember that song. I remember that song, sure.
Absolutely.
Really, John, can you imagine having that much time? And you're fully retired there. I don't think you could do that for very long.
There would be no way, Paul and Karen, audience. I mean, how much patience do you have to do that? I mean, really, it's astounding to me. That is strictly astounding.
It is. It's unbelievable. We've all seen origami art that's really unbelievable. But
Sure.
This is just straight down concentration. I don't think it
is straight down concentration and focus. Wow.
So, speaking of straight down concentration, once a week, John does straight down conversation. I can't even say it. Let's go on to John's segment.
That's a good segue, Paul. That's a good segue.
I blew your intro there, John. Every week, I ask my old buddy John Donalo. As long as I've known him, he's known more about sports than anybody else I know. I ask him, John, find us a sport that fits with the theme. Real sport, sometimes strange, always funny. And John always manages to come up with a sport that fits the theme. Sometimes we might participate in it. Sometimes we'll say, no way would we ever do something like that. This week, I think we may be choosing the former. So, John, why don't you describe your sport to us?
I will, Paul. Thanks again for the introduction. So, our sport this week comes to us from the area known as the Down Under. Actually, the sport takes place in New Zealand. Now, some people even say that it is not a sport per se. This sport is called Jaffa Race, Jaffa race, and it is a charity event where a total of, get ready for this, 75,000 candies called Jaffa lollies are rolled down the steepest street in the world. This street is Baldwin Street, and it is located in Dunedin, New Zealand. Let me explain further.
Yeah,
A
please.
Jaffa is a small round candy consisting of a solid orange flavored chocolate center with a hard red candy shell. Think of it as a Tootsie Pop with no stick and an orange Hershey Kiss in the center.
Oh,
Now,
I'm hungry now.
now they may not sound tasty to you, but the Jaffa is very popular in both Australia and New Zealand, where they also like the Jaffa Orange, which are hard and seedless and were an inspiration for the candy. So these are
Wow.
different types of candies that are in that part of the world. Now,
Yeah, yeah, wow.
each Jaffa ball weighs about 2.8 grams or 1/10 of an ounce. And believe it or not, they can reach individual speeds up to 62 miles per hour. That is because Baldwin Street is 1,148 feet long and has a 19-degree grade, so the balls can pick up that much speed.
Wow. Wow.
It gets
Look at him
better.
going down that hill.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know.
that's
Wait a
unbelievable.
minute, it gets better. Each Jaffa is numbered and then is sold for $1 each, with the money then going to charity. Now, there's a total of 3 races, and prizes are given to the people who bought a ticket for the winning Jaffas in each race. Now,
Wow.
with 75,000 Jaffas that are rolling, that's a lot of money going to a good cause.
No kidding.
So, from a little bit of an origin standpoint, the Jaffa race has been held annually in July since 2001 as part of the Cadbury Chocolate Carnival, even though the local Cadbury plant in New Zealand closed and Jaffa candies are made by Nestle.
Huh.
And an estimated 15,000 people on average cram onto Baldwin Street for the world's steepest street party and the annual Cadbury Jaffa race.
Wow.
And yes, in case you were wondering, the event is also known as the running of the balls.
Oh,
Well, you can use your horn on that one if you'd like. I mean, I think okay. So wait a minute. Now, in closing, folks, in closing, we Americans love candy and have a lot of round, hard confectionaries and also steep hills for rolling, if you think about it. So a Jaffa race or a running of the ball, so to speak, would definitely be popular here. I can already see the headlines after the event. They came, they rolled, and they got eaten.
oh, I'm not going to touch that one.
Oh, all right,
What a
Paul and Karen,
weird
and audience,
thing.
there we have it. Jaffa race.
Yeah. The thing that amazes me, John, for those of you who can see the photo, the 15,000 people are at the bottom of the hill.
Yeah,
So,
That is
it
right.
looks like,
That is right.
and if
waiting
these
for
are
the
the
candy.
yeah,
Yeah.
and they're waiting for the candy that's coming at them at 60 miles an hour. I mean, it doesn't not.
That's why it's a weird sport, Paul and Karen, and audience, and it's something you don't normally see every day or think about. So,
Yeah.
yeah, there you
Okay.
have it.
Let me tell you, that's right. So, and the running of the balls, that's the best part. I think I was thinking, John, I had never heard of that expression, running of the balls. And then I remembered long time ago when we were in college, seems to me that we were challenged by another fraternity to a running of the balls. Do you? Which
No,
again,
I mean, wait a minute
awfully
now.
nice.
I mean, we used to have limitless numbers of challenges from all those different fraternities. So, I mean,
That's
there
right.
was a lot that they were throwing at us. Help educate me on this one again.
I was gonna say, you know, it's not what you think of drunken guys, drunken college guys um, running. Although there was streaking on campus when we went there, but it's not
Yes, there
that
was
kind.
streaking. Yes, there was. Yes, there
That's
was.
right. So we were challenged. So of course the older members put John and myself in charge, and they said we're doing this running of the balls thing. So you two guys are the balls. So get some balls to run in, okay? So John and I went out. So I got mine. Let's see if I got there's a picture of my ball. So I kind of got a psychedelic ball costume that I was wearing. That didn't look too bad. John was smart. John got himself not quite a ball. He got himself
It's popular, right? It's a popular thing. Right?
a
Sure.
peanut M&M, which is close, yeah, oval kind of thing. But what happened was John was the smart guy because before we could even run, we found out that M&Ms are much more popular than balls with the girls. So
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
there's
no
John
kidding.
with one of those girls in college that just loved M&Ms there. So
Well, I'm no fool. That's all I can say. I'm no fool.
look at those shoes, John. I can't believe your feet are that big.
Well, don't forget, I had a lot of, I had less shame, when I was younger. So that's why I wore those.
Well, again, a great sport, John.
Thank you.
Jaffa ball, the running of the ball. That's what I'll always remember it by. So thank you so much for that sport.
Yeah, you're welcome, Paul and Karen, and audience. Thank you.
Yeah, let's get back to our full screen here. All right, so John's done as I promised. That means it's time for Bluff the co-host, everybody's favorite weird news game. Rules are simple. I have three stories they're similar to the ones we've been talking about all afternoon. One big difference. All of those were real. The stories in Bluff the co-host may be real, may be a bluff. It's up to you, Karen and John, to decide. Wagering is allowed, so place your bets. John and Karen, put your hands on the buzzer. Let's start with story number one. Many people run marathons while listening to music, but an unusual race in Brussels, Belgium, requires that all runners play a musical instrument while running the entire 26.2 miles. The course is flat and doesn't have many turns, so the participants can concentrate on playing without fear of tripping. Only about 100 runners signed up this year, and the winner was a guitar player. Second place went to a fiddler, and the fastest female played a banjo. So you can see string instruments are the most popular. Horns are the least popular for obvious reasons. But the most unusual instrument this year was a piano, believe it or not, pulled by an electric car while the runner ran and played on it. The car was illegal, but the piano playing runner got the prize for the best musical selection played during the race. Okay, so a marathon in Brussels, Belgium, where everybody has to play a musical instrument. And this year, a guy actually played a piano while he ran. Real or bluff? Karen, we'll start with you.
It just doesn't sound logical. And it started off with the fiddler. I mean, fiddling and running. I don't think so. So I'm going to say the whole thing is a bluff. And it was a really good story.
Okay, all right. Karen says it's a bluff. John, how about you, our sports guy?
Yeah, I'm with Karen on this one too, because I just think it's totally implausible for people to be playing a guitar, especially the guy with the piano. How can that be? I mean, this is one of these stories, Paul and Karen, that I'm praying it's gotta be a bluff.
Well, as I think the only one of this group of three who has actually run a marathon, I have seen people run while juggling. So
Really? Okay, wow. That's interesting.
26.2 miles. Yeah. So both Karen and John say that the race while playing musical instruments is a bluff, especially the part about the piano player. Let's check with the judges. The judges say, congratulations to both of you. That is a bluff.
Oh,
Very
thank you.
good. Thank you. Thank you.
It restores my faith in humanity. Thank
Yeah.
you.
All right. Well, wow. So we get off to a fast start here with the marathon story. Both John and Karen, they have 1 point each. So let's get right to story number two. The winner of the What Could Possibly Go Wrong award this year goes to an invention by an engineer in Germany who noticed that they contained many common parts. So he combined a home massage gun with a personal taser and created the massage taser. He thinks the massage taser will be popular with people who have aches and pains but don't want to own a gun. The inventor hasn't been able to find investors and has even appeared on the German version of Shark Tank, which not only turned him down, but told him to go find another line of work. Undeterred, the inventor said he's working on a whole line of combination security devices, starting with a combo taser and battery drill. Okay, so the man in Germany who combined a massage gun and a taser into a dual home security massage tool. Real or bluff? We'll start with you, John.
Well, I'll tell you what, Paul and Karen, and audience. I mean, I think I've learned in my many years being on this planet, there's a market for anything or everything. And it seems to me there would be a market for that kind of product. I'm going to go on a limb on this one. I'm going to say it's a real story.
Wow, real story. Okay, John, would you buy one?
Depends on what it looks like. I don't know. I mean, sight unseen. I mean, I think in theory, it sounds really good, but I'd have to take at least a look-see at it to see if I would subject myself to something like that.
Price is no object, but it has to look good in John's bathroom or wherever.
I mean, look functional. Let me rephrase that. It has to look like it would be something that would be functional. Okay.
Okay, all right. You slipped out of that one, John. Okay, so John says he thinks that might be a real story. Karen, how about you?
It sounds dangerous, so I'm hoping it's not a real story.
It does sound dangerous. I know. That's what I thought too.
Okay. I mean, if I'm massaging myself and tasing myself at the same time, like.
I know. We don't want. We got to get all those thoughts out of our head there. So
right. So get rid of those visuals. Get rid of those visuals.
There you go. Karen says the combination massage taser is a bluff. John says it's real. Let's check with the judges, and the judges say, congratulations go to Karen. That is a bluff.
Thank goodness.
Sorry, John.
Well, in the world of people doing weird things, as we know,
right.
Right? Thinking it would fall down. But congratulations, Karen. Very good.
Tell you what, John, this might be a project to work on in your garage. Get a taser and a massage gun and make one yourself. A lot of duct tape. You need a lot of duct tape.
I'll have to get to the R&D department on that one and let you know how that turns out. But
all right, okay. If you're keeping score at home, that means Karen is ahead 2-1. But points are doubled in round number 3. So John and all of you out there who are behind, you can catch up and win the game if you get story number 3 correct. Let's get right to it.
Okay.
Anyone growing up in the 1960s probably associates rock concerts with getting high, but a rock band in Canada got low at a concert instead. The band is made up of real miners of the coal mine kind. They're all over 18, who normally play above ground, but decided to stage a real rock concert in the rocks for an audience of other miners and guests at 8,000 feet below the ground. Besides their normal selection of heavy metal, the band played Working in a Coal Mine and other requests. Now they're waiting to see if their Get Low Rock in the Rocks concert sets a new world record for the deepest deepest underground concert. Okay, so a band made up of miners holds a rock concert at the bottom of an 8,000-foot mine shaft. Real or bluff? Karen, we'll start with you.
Well, I would not go. But there are people.
Karen's afraid of heights and depths.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there are people who would go, like my husband. He would think that would be the greatest thing in the world. So I'm going to say it's real.
Wow. Okay. It's real. Okay. Karen says it's real. John, how about you?
Part of me wants to say that it's real, but I think my logical mind says, why would people do this? So I'm going to say it's a bluff.
After all this time working on this show, John says, why would people do this?
I mean, it just came to me, Paul and Karen. It just came to me as a
I
like,
get it,
wow.
John. I get. I was hoping for something more logical, but why would people get it? I think that there's some logic in there. Why would people do this? So John says that the miners playing rock in a mine is a bluff. A rock concert in a mine is a bluff. Karen says that's a
Right.
real story, and her husband might actually go to it, so she's hoping it's a bluff. Um, sorry, Karen, that's actually a real story. Sorry
That's
to
what
both.
I said real. He said bluff.
Yeah,
Yeah, I said wow.
Yeah.
real story. Real story.
Karen, very good. Karen, congrats. Wow.
Yeah,
Hey.
it was the whole. In fact, they're related. They're all related. It's a family of miners. It's a father and his son that play rock music, and they just decided to do this at the bottom. They got permission from the owner of the mine, and wasn't a whole lot of people in the audience, but enough that they actually are qualified. And they're
Can I throw this out real quick, Paul? How about if we, for the next couple shows or whatever, can you get any photos or any evidence about this? I mean, it would just be kind of
Oh, I
interesting.
didn't have. Yeah, I had a picture of the band, but not of them
I
playing.
know that'd be kind of interesting to see. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I don't have. If it's a bluff, John, what do you want me to do? You want me to get artificial intelligence to
I'm just thinking for the whole idea of just keeping the thing going.
running a marathon while he's playing the piano?
I mean, seeing is believing. I'm kind of come from the school of thought. Seeing is believing.
Seeing is believing. All right.
All right.
When it comes to podcasts, though, listening is believing, and that's what all of you are doing out there. And I want to thank all of you for doing that. But first and foremost, I want to thank Karen Hale, our media mogul, at newclevelandradio.net, our platform, our producer and co-host. Karen, thanks for everything that you do for us and for everybody, all the other podcasters at newclevelandradio.net. Everybody, check it out. First, look for my name, find out how to download us and listen. Then check out all of Karen's other podcasts. Check out Yes, I Can Coaching with Karen. All kind of great stuff there. So again, thank you, Karen. And poor John, I let him have it at the end there, but John always keeps coming back. A special thanks to my old buddy John Denalo, color commentator, sports guy, all around good buddy. Let's hope we see a good game tonight, John.
Yeah, that's for sure, Paul. No, it's this show gets better week to week, and yeah, let's hope the Cavaliers really come through. If the Cavaliers keep winning, I hate to use this phrase, but I have to. The sky's the limit.
Yeah,
Sky's the limit. That's right. That's right. Okay. Well, for those of you listening in the future, you already know if they won or lost. So
a foregone conclusion. A foregone conclusion. Yes.
There you go. That's right. In her background, she has my new book, What Would You Say to a Naked Space Alien, available at my website, paulseaburn.com. So again, thank you for that. And I got all those other links at my website as well. So you can find it there. And as always, thanks to all of you out there, people we know, people we don't know. If you want to get known, send me a message on Facebook, send Karen an email through her website. We love to hear from you. We love giving shout outs to our old friends and new friends. So by all means, please do that. And on that note, I think we are done with the latest edition of What in the World. I'll mention it again. We will be off next week celebrating Thanksgiving, as I hope all of you are doing the same. We'll be back in 2 weeks with more real news and bluffs and sports and trivia and all that good stuff. So have a great Thanksgiving, everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving.